If you or someone you know struggles with addiction, this is definitely an episode of Checking In with Jeff Davenport that you will want to see. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Checking In with Jeff Davenport. Today we are checking in at a place called Hoops House, and we're going to learn about why it's here, this recovery house here in South Sierra Vista that provides opportunity for all of these people. You see all these faces against this wall right here. This is the wall. The wall of fame is what it is. These are people who have recovered from the program and gone through the program of recovery and seen better days ahead. And that's why we're sitting down today, checking in with this man right here, John Hooper. John, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thanks for coming by. I appreciate you.
Let's talk about Hoops House to begin with. How long has this been here?
We started in 2015 and opened up in April of 2016.
But this was a long time coming. You had a vision. What is your history with addiction, and why would you get into something like this, making a recovery house?
Well, back in 1996, I was at my lowest point in my life, and due to addiction and. I, with some help from family and friends back in upstate New York, I got into a rehab, and it was a 45-day program. And when it was all said and done, I decided that I wanted to give back in the field. It was helping me, and so when I got out, they hired me back 6 months later as a driver. And I was dealing with all my legal issues at the time, and still doing my outpatient. But I enrolled back into college and started to work on getting a degree. And while I was doing that, I was working. And so during my next 12 years, I was in a variety of positions with the same organization, same company, but from a counselor to running a recovery homes to actually being in the front lines for a rescue mission program. So I experienced every aspect of the journey. And when it was all said and done, after all my experience as a active addict and criminal, to my recovery journey, to my employment, and to my education, I decided that way back when the best chance to give addicts a chance to succeed was to in a recovery home, longer term. Because generally most programs, you go in for 30 days or even 90 days, and then you're put out on the street and said survive. Here we prepare everyone for actually, when you graduate from this program, that you're all set to be able to go back out in the community.
And all of these success stories that surround us here inside the dining area at Hoops House are a testament to what this program can do, because as Theresa was talking before we went live on the air, she was saying, yes, these are now business owners. These are people who worked to make sure that they could get their families back together, have their kids and things like that. But when you actually sit in this area and look around at these faces, what is it that comes to mind? What do you see?
I just see that all the hard work that they put in and that we've put in together, and well over 60% of what's on these walls are successful today. And we're like a family, and they still contact me on major decisions in their lives to ask my advice or what I think. We have 5 men that have their children back without the mother. Unfortunately, in their cases, the moms weren't as successful as they were, and they're raising their children today, which is just amazing. And we have homeowners, we have multiple business owners, we have people from out of state that have come in the program that are doing great, vets that are doing well. Our population is males from 18 to 64, basically, and these guys put all the hard work because it's not easy. It's not an easy program at all. It's very intense. It's very structured. And I'm not the easiest guy to always get along with.
Well, when dealing with addiction, isn't that kind of the key, whether it's the 12 steps or faith-based or holistic kind of programs, it is meant to be structured
Yes.
for that very reason. And having a whole campus here where someone can come, what would, if you could walk us through what happens from the first minute that someone comes here, perhaps to visit, and then makes the decision to stay?
Yeah, how the process works is we get referrals. I apologize for the noise. We get referrals from everywhere, from personal referrals, family members. We get referrals from jails, probation, parole, and also behavioral agencies. So everywhere, everyone gives us a call. And the first process is the person that wants to come in, we have to do an interview. They have to call me, and we do the interview over the phone. And if they're appropriate and meet what is required to come in this program, then they're accepted, and we work out on a date. For admission. We got guys. Some of them are mandated by the courts. Some are mandated by parole and stuff like that, and some of them are not. And then we have a lot, just as many that are struggling without legal issues, and they don't want to get to that point. But we have, the program comes in, so we do an intake, and then they get involved with a behavioral health agency, which is CHA, and they work with us right here on campus. Now, the residents come in, they can receive treatment from anywhere. It doesn't have to be CHA, but CHA is a convenience where they provide the services in the groups right in this dining room. They offer individual therapy, any psych services that may be needed. Different groups. MRT is a moral recognition therapy, which is an amazing group for men trying to react from the prison system back into society. That's a very tough group that the guys love and hate all at the same time. Right. But we provide those services. The first 90 days when they come in this program, they're on a probationary period. They don't go anywhere except where we take them. We take them to work, any appointments that they may have. Like we take them to go get their insurance and stuff. In a nutshell, and it goes on. I'm
sure every case is unique. Obviously,
yes.
I'm just kind of asking in a broad way.
Yeah, that's right. And basically, the whole process is when they come in, they're on welfare. They have access. They have food stamp cards. When they graduate this program, they are no longer on welfare. Mm-hmm. They are working full time. They have to go to school after 90 days, depending on their level of education, because recovery is just not about today. It's about tomorrow too. And if you're at the same job, today they need a job. We help them work on careers and dreams that they may have had before they got involved in addiction and criminal behavior, which comes along with it hand in hand. And we have a major, major problem here, and all over the country and actually all over the world. But this is our bubble, and we make a difference. And the bottom line is all of these guys that are on this wall, whether they were successful after they left the program or not, are not, the ones that weren't successful are not raping or pillaging the community anymore. The guys that have graduated are now part of the community. They pay their taxes, they work, they're in school. We work closely with the GED program and the college itself here locally. So we have strong relationships with employers in the community. And depending on what these guys' strengths are, we put them and help them get employment with these different agencies. And what the employers like is that they have our support. They're always guaranteed to be there because we take them and we make sure they're there. And also, if there's any issues on the job, they can call us and we can handle it. We can help figure out what the problem is.
So people can literally be here, live here, and continue their 9 to 5. Continue their...
Absolutely. And we are private. So we're not funded from anyone. And how we survive is the rents that the guys pay from working and donations in the community. And how we get donations from the community, some just know of us and help us out. But other ones, they call us and we do services out in the community and then they make donations, whether it's yard work or moving or handyman. We have a lot of talent that comes through here. We have electricians and we have plumbers and we have, professional landscapers. We have from all walks of life that come through here that can add their talents to the community. And we just ask for a donation that's fair. And most people do that, and that helps us keep running every day.
It's John Hooper. It's Checking In with Jeff Davenport here at Hoop's House, a recovery home in South Sierra Vista. This campus is amazing. Looking at how large how many acres are here?
5 acres.
Okay.
We have our main house here when they come in, and this house comfortably holds 14 guys. And they have 2 master bedrooms, and this house has an indoor in-ground pool and a fireplace, and it's just a very comfortable. I've always believed just because we're addicts and alcoholics doesn't mean that we can't get nice things. I never wanted to put us in an area where drugs and alcohol were easy to get or next door. I wanted at least to have some type of quality for them to understand how to live, because some of these guys do not even know how to do laundry, how to clean properly, and Theresa, my wife, who's the mother of the house, spelled M-U-T-H-E-R, she's on them pretty heavily and teaches them, how to clean. And so we have our main house, and outside we have a pond with some fish in it. We have an amazing view of the mountains. We have this amazing big fire pit that they have 12-step meetings, and also sometimes if I have house meetings and things, we'll have it out there if the weather's nice. And then we have our office over here on the a separate building, and then we have 5 apartments, 5 2-bedroom apartments, and 2 of those apartments are graduate apartments where people have graduated the program and they want to stay nearby. And so they're not in the program anymore, but they know it's an alcohol and drug-free campus. And plus, we're there if they need us to talk to us still. And a lot of them still volunteer to help out. They give back. We have 2 graduations this Sunday, this Sunday. And a lot of these guys, at least a quarter of them, come back and support the new graduates. So it's been for 8 years, it's been an amazing family, and we stick together and we're always there. And some of the guys that are on this wall have returned a second time and then went on to be successful. We have
so
come back.
Recidivism
Yes.
does happen, just, in most cases,
right.
With dealing with the law and issues with the law, and that
Correct.
does happen. So it even happens here as well. But what does it say about that person who makes the choice to say, I need to go back?
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I know I would never have another journey in me, as hard as it is. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And the difficult journey that you have to go through, mostly because of you got to change your ABCs. And that's what we work on here, our attitudes, our behaviors, and our choices. And part of that is people think that recovery is being abstinent, not drinking, get high. Recovery, that's the number 1 step. Once you've done that, then your journey is about your ABCs, being, working on your attitude, working on your behaviors, because deceit is one of them, that stinking thinking, that addiction. We have NA and AA meetings here on campus, and we offer both programs to give them, again, their choice. We are not a religious-based program, but we're spiritually based. We have so many people from different walks of life, and a lot of them are mad at God still, and blaming God, and over time they realize it's not God's fault, it's theirs, and they have to address it. But their number 1 thing they have to address is all the guilt and shame, because now we're taking away their old coping skill, which is using. That's how they react to loss. They don't understand. We teach them about their emotions and how it creates and the intensity and what to do with the anger. Anger is it's the second emotion. People love to think it's the first emotion. It's not. Anger is created by something else. It is a primary emotion. So, it's just a constant feeding of education and practice. And I always tell them, too, the only difference between me and you is time. And I've had the time to practice. It's kind of like we use a synopsis, like if, say, you're a rookie in the NFL and you're a wide receiver, and then Jerry Rice is about to retire. And you got another rookie next to you. Who do you want to learn from? Do you want to learn from the rookie, or do you want to learn from the one that has time? The veteran. And that's where that's why we try to get a lot of the members of NA or AA, the volunteers that come, they have time. That's what I want to offer. I have time, and so we get to offer our experiences, our strength, our hope, and we have the proof right in front of them. We're the ones that look at what we're doing today, and this is your opportunity as well.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter about all the felonies. People say, they can't get jobs or they can't exist. I mean, we got people with their passports again. We have, so they're able to travel and they all have jobs. I mean, I have on campus here, including graduates, we probably have 34 people on this campus. And out of those 30, no, that's how much we hold. I apologize. We have 31.
Okay.
I just want to be accurate.
Yeah.
And out of those 31, 28 of them are working. And so that tells you that if people are out there wanting to give people another chance, and if they feel safe with them, and then they know they have us to support them. So it's a win-win situation. The community's better off for it. I know we've made a difference in this community, and I've made this community my home since 2011 when we got transferred up here for a company we were working for, promoted, so that was nice.
Yeah.
And we came from Yuma, so Sierra Vista is a lot nicer weather than Yuma is for sure. So we've enjoyed our stay, and we decided this was going to be our home, our base. That's when we decided we wanted to give back to the community and help out.
It's absolutely incredible. You used a word in the context of the NFL, veteran. Obviously, the veteran population is something that's very important to this area. Is there a certain percentage of veterans that you end up seeing, or people who had served the country here on this wall, and how how is that working with the former military or former active duty, and helping them on their journey of recovery, knowing the trauma and PTSD and things that they might have experienced as well? How is that viewed? Maybe not differently, but because again, every situation is treated in a unique manner here at Hoops House in South Sierra Vista. But the veteran community, veteran population, can you just talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have as many as I would like, and I think that's just a lack of knowledge. The veterans do have a lot of services, out of Tucson and even some here. But the difference I find is with the vets is the PTSD has a lot to do with it, and we have the clinical people to work with them on that. But I find that the vets are easier. I don't know if it's easier. They're just to work with differently because they have different standards that at one point in time they remember they had. Because some of us, we've never had that kind. We've never had an opportunity in life. From childhood, these people started using it 12, 13, 14 years old. I've even had a few at 8 or 9 years old.
Gosh.
Yeah, the stories. But not to get off track of your question, the vets, we work closely with agencies, again, that are in the community to help, and they actually get a few more benefits than the average Joe that's out there, and justifiably so. So it's a little bit easier to work. I just wish we had a few more referrals. We work closely now with the Cochise County Vets, I think it's called, and where vets are in need of things that are out in the community. And like we went out to Pierce, all the way out to Pierce, and helped this very elderly vet with his home and his yard, and made some repairs and things like that. And so, and then we were at the recent veterans event, and I think you guys were there. And we're trying to promote out there to let more vets know that we're here. But the number is probably about around 10%, so It's nowhere near enough.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, and again, they also have other resources, but
Yes.
the fact that they can come here as well
is another option for them. Yes.
Yeah. Well, gosh, there's so many different ways we could go with this. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know that it's getting on lunchtime here, and this table will be we'll have some faces around it. Obviously, we've been protecting it for their anonymity, but again, looking around at this room and seeing all of these faces, what are ways that the community around us could help continue putting more of these photos up on the wall? Is there any needs that you have in the community that you'd like to let people know about?
Hey, listen, I'm always in need. I mean, financial obviously is their number one. It costs quite a lot of money to run this operation.
And because it's a nonprofit, there is tax write-offs that people can make.
Yeah, all of them, whether it's a financial or a material donation. We're always, our biggest needs after finances are, cleaning supplies, toilet paper, hygiene. Hygiene is huge, an expense because a lot of our referrals come in from places where they're coming off the street, they're coming from prisons and jails, and they don't have anything. And we have stockpile of clothes and stuff that they can use, or that they can go through and get. And we have packets of hygiene and stuff and towels and all that. But all that towels and washcloths and, all of those kinds of things. And you don't realize how much stuff you need until you're up and going. And when we started out back in 2016 with one house out in Hereford with 8 beds. And one of the most things I'm proud of besides this wall is the first 6 names, our first 6 pictures up on this wall were out of the first 8 that came in the program, and 6 out of 8 have, graduated. And it was a small little house, and then we went to a second house, and then we got this house in November of 2016. And then it's taken off, and this is where we've settled in. So, the needs are, endless. If anything, anybody can, is willing, and we got receipts and write-offs, and, and it's up and coming. We have an accountant and we have an attorney, and and they donate so much of their time. And the volunteers that we have, nonprofits, it's probably not a good word to use, but it's the truth, is we abuse volunteers. Because of the financial situation, you're not able to hire a lot of staff. And so the volunteers come through, and they help us with transport. They help us facilitating meetings, NA and AA meetings, and they sponsor. They come in and sponsor guys and work on their steps with them, which is so important. I could go on and on, but it's just really, it's a pretty cool thing that we got going on. And the graduating and, the whole in here and housing and just everything when they leave. We even offer, they have to have bank accounts, so we teach them to money manage. And then some that struggle that want to buy a car, because after 90 days, if you have your driver's license, you can have a car on campus and be, again, it's this process of independence.
Right.
And so, excuse me, it's really cool to see a face of a 21 or 22-year-old kid who comes in with absolutely nothing and leaves with a car in college and a full-time job. It's just a really cool thing that in 7 to 9 months, that's how long the program is, 7 to 9 months. So it gives them time. And some people think it's a long time, but they're blown away. A lot of these guys are blown away with how much they've accomplished in that time. And, they have a checklist they have to go through. They have to get up in the morning, they have to make their bed. They got chores to do in the evening that randomly change. And so and then when they are out of line, and they'll make mistakes, and we expect them to make mistakes, but they're going to understand, it's, again, a rated R program. So we speak to them in a way, not down to them. We speak right at them, but we speak to them in a language that they understand.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pat you on the back and say, honey, don't do that again.
Right.
I'm going to be like, have you lost your effing mind? I mean, what were you thinking?
Right.
And that's pretty mellow too at times.
Sure.
But the guys, they respect the program for the most part. If they don't, they learn quickly. We unfortunately have to let people go from time to time, but we do try to work with them.
Well, and let's end on this. If someone is watching this, maybe they themselves or they have a family member who is in need of help, in need of that hope, what kind of message would you encourage them with today?
One of the things, if you're a family member, one thing we have to, and I deal with this a lot, is do not enable. You have to empower. Enabling, unfortunately, I've had parents love their children so much that they actually love them to death. And I'm not used to saying that they died, but they're headed that way. And we constantly have to educate and teach. And it's not to give up on them, but you can't keep saving them. You can't keep fixing them. The opportunity that you have is here, and if they're willing to come in, then interview and come in. We're willing to help them. But the number one thing is that they have to want it. And unfortunately, family wants it a whole lot more than they do at certain times.
Sure.
And contemplation is a stage where a lot of us are. I get calls all the time about active addicts that are in the streets, and they know about the program, and they'll call me, and they'll want to come in. And I tell them, okay, we'll have an interview tomorrow at 9 or the next day or whatever the time I agree with it. I said, you have to call me. You can't call me at 9:10 or 9:30. You call me at 9, we'll say. And unfortunately, the reason we do that is because they're not ready yet. Now, when they call, which is unfortunately not enough, but when they call, then I know that they're serious. But when you're in the middle of your addiction, you have those moments where you're feeling horrible and you're not high at the moment, or you're coming down, and you call, but then you're not ready yet, and then you don't get a call, and it gets ghosted for a while, and then they'll call back later usually. But yeah. So my recommendation, anybody that there is hope out there. It's not easy, but don't give up. And anybody needs any advice at all, family members, friends, you can call me at 520-678-4120. We're also, you can get the number on the website. It's hoopshouse.org. Unfortunately, we don't have professional people to help us with the website, so it's not always the best. But the information's there. The picture of the house is there, and what we do here.
We do have a link to that in the post description to the website, and we'll make sure that we put the phone number in there as well, since you've given it out, and for people to contact and learn more about this amazing recovery home here in South Sierra Vista that has just so many success stories. 2 more coming this Sunday.
Yes, correct.
Which is absolutely awesome. If you or someone you know are in need of help, please call that number. Please check out the website in the post description, and perhaps have an interview here at Hoops House to see if this would be the right place for you or for your family member to find that recovery, to find that healing, to find that hope, and make sure that tomorrow is a brighter day. John, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely awesome what you guys do here. And again, this is only a snippet of this entire campus. It's absolutely amazing what happens here. And all these faces, all of these men here on this wall, ever growing. Well, you're going to need another wall. Is what you're going to need. You're running out of room, or do another layer.
Isn't this a great problem? A great problem is when those few spots go, we have no idea where we're going to continue the pictures.
Well, let's keep them coming and keep them going back into society as productive members of society after finding that recovery, finding that hope, and making sure that they are ready to get back ingrained and do positive things in our community. And again, maybe you don't have a family member or a friend or yourself, but maybe you want to help. Maybe you want to help Hoops House. Maybe this has given you the opportunity or an idea. All the things that John talked about, the ways that you can help, give them a call. If you'd like to be a part, a volunteer, or just help provide any sort of supplies here at Hoops House, I know that they would greatly appreciate it. Again, for more information, check the post description. Thank you for watching this episode of Checking In with Jeff Davenport. Have a great day, everybody. And we'll check in with you again later on. Thank you so much, John.
Hey, thanks.
Absolutely awesome.
All right.
I mean, amazing place here. And all these faces on the wall, just, it takes your breath away.
It gets me, you hear a crack in my voice.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.